We're in the Special Collections Gallery at the University of Southampton in the Hartley Library, and we're at the exhibition Knitting 1914 to 2014. Throughout the year in the gallery we hold a range of exhibitions derived from the archives and special collections held by the University Library.
One of the main challenges of this exhibition was the textile items. I work in the conservation department, and when we're putting on exhibitions it's all about creating appropriate housing to display the objects. In this one we had the jumpers, so what I had to do was measure each jumper individually and create its own mannequin so that it was displayed appropriately. We also had the student swatches, and we had to find a method to display them so that they could be seen. They're quite tactile objects. We wanted the members of the public to be able to touch them, maybe turn them over and see how they're created. So we ended up stitching those to a mesh, and I think the result was quite effective.
We have about 12,000 knitting patterns in our collection, and we've just put a small selection on display. To start with, World War I and World War II, the resources from that period are a surprise to the public, especially the bandages from World War I. One of the main collections we're focusing on is the Muncie Stanley collection. Muncie Stanley was a knitter and collector who set up the Knitting Reference Library in her Cambridge home. We have over 1,000 knitted objects in the special collections. One of the features of her collection is the knitted bags and purses dating from the late 18th century through to the mid-20th century. The students have used the Muncie Stanley collection of bags and purses for a special project called The Devil is in the Detail, and for that they produced a number of swatches and designs for actual bags.
We started looking at the Muncie Stanley bags and swatches that she'd created, and then we took that in the direction of details for our specific project, and I used the Muncie Stanley bags specifically for colour inspiration for my designs.
I was inspired by some of the floral beaded bags and how you wouldn't necessarily know that some of them were knitted, so I was working with beading on top, embroidery, and working into my knits.
We have a pattern for the Starsky Hutch jumper, which has become quite an iconic item. There's Peter Davison in a Fair Isle all-over slipover when he was quite a young man. And then we also found Kate Moss in the Rowan magazine when she was a young teenage model, showing a knitwear by Kim Hargreaves for a feature on swallows and Amazons.
It's been really positive. It's a brilliant exhibition. Often here we have more archive-based exhibitions, so I think it's been quite a nice change and a great way to showcase the Muncie Stanley collection. And I think overall people are amazed at the different facets to knitting.